I wake up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. Some seasons 4 o'clock, some seasons 3 o'clock. Right now I'm around 3:30 time. God wake me up and I have my cup of coffee. I'm reading my devotional. I'm praying. I'm interceding for people. I just need to listen, hear what God have to say, and then I run the play. And that's what's God. I'm not that smart, bro. I feel like I am in the flesh, but in the spirit, God is like, Negro, I ran every play that I gave you.
Yeah.
I drew up every play. You just ran the play.
You know, Jeremy, you said something that sparked a memory inside of me, and I hope you all watching right now are taking notes and you're hearing what is being said. You said that sometimes God won't give you that promotion because God wants you to own the company. And sometimes I think what we look at is if when people overlook us for that promotion, when people overlook us and we feel like we've been overlooked, we take it personal. When that could be God saying, no, I want them to overlook you because what you have on the inside of you, I want you to own that for you and your family. And if you get that promotion, if you give it to them, it's no longer yours. Now it's theirs. And I mean, bro, I can't tell you how many times during my adult life from 20 to about 36, 37, 38. Well, how am I not? 37? Yeah, 30. Until about 37, that I felt like I was overlooked. That I felt like they didn't value what was on the inside of me. That I felt like I was not important to them. That what I had on the inside of me wasn't good enough. But now, today, the things that I felt like weren't good enough, the things that I felt like I was being overlooked and those are the things that are making me a lot of money.
Right.
Because then now I have the space because I believed in God and I trust God.
Right.
Now God is saying, look, the reason why I was overlooking you is because I was molding you, because I was keeping it on the inside of you so you can go and do it the way that you want to do it.
Just like that. Yep. He be knowing. He be knowing. And I want it, and I'm glad, and I really appreciate you advocating, bro.
Yeah.
For the people who are like, but Jeremy.
Yeah.
But Anthony. I've been there.
Absolutely.
Let me share one 30-second story.
No, let's go.
So I leave this life of crime, all this dumb stuff I was doing, and give my life to God, get baptized, came out the water, was like, no more selling weed, no more running nightclubs, like I'm gonna live for God, knock on doors, doing outreach in communities, and I'm looking for jobs, I'm looking for jobs. No jobs. I'm thinking like, come on now, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to do any job now, no jobs. I remember after like month number 3, and I'm itching, I'm fiending, because I'm like, I can make one call, I can make one play and be able to take care of the rent at least for the next 2 months.
Yep.
God is like, nope, I got you. My mama called me. Hey, son, how you doing? I just broke down. I was like, Mama, I'm irritated. I'm pissed. Like, things are not working for me. She was like, lift up your head. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Delayed is not denied.
Right.
And that thing set in my spirit.
Wow.
And I was just like, okay. And it took a few more months. And then I got a call one day. This guy was like, I found your resume. Now, this is before folks was doing ZipRecruiter and all that. I was like, you found my resume? And God blessed me with an amazing job. And then a few years after that, he ended up having me quit my job. That story might come up later. That's some more crazy stuff. That's another thing too, man. Folk don't be knowing half the struggle and sacrifices I went through and the faith I have.
Right.
But sometimes but God had me in that place. So I know that person that's like, I'm doing the right thing, God.
Right.
I'm being faithful.
Right.
I'm paying a faithful tithe and offering.
Ooh.
I'm giving back. And ain't nothing else happening for me. And God is just like, just be patient.
Yeah.
Just
something's happening. It's just not happening right now.
Right. Absolutely. It's like that seed in the ground. You watering it, it's like ain't nothing happening.
You don't
and
see
you sit here, man, you frustrated, you throw the whole pot out. You have no clue that thing done broke the seed and the roots is growing.
Come on, man.
And it's only a matter of time before it breaks out that dirt and begins to blossom and bear fruit.
And
that's the story of my life. Oh, you gotta go down before you go up.
Got to go down.
Just like that.
Got to go down.
And so that's what I did. But I feel like, all right, so here's my word for 2022.
Yeah.
God said, son, in order for you and everybody else to go to that next level, because I've realized something in December last year, I was seeing on Instagram, everybody's like, I want to receive this, I want to receive this. Everybody's talking about what they want to receive. And I was like looking at scrolling, all right, I'm touching the green with you. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But the God told me one morning, he was like, everybody wants to receive, but tell my children, tell my people, they will not receive until they release. And God said, in this new season, there are some things that people have to release. There are some things that they have in their life. They want to receive it, but their hands are full of garbage, and God is like, you don't even have room enough to receive it. So how about you release it? So we were doing a mastermind. We have a Speakers Academy and Speakers Elite program, right?
Yeah.
We were doing a mastermind with our elite, and I realized like a lot of them are like not idolizing me, but they have so much love and reverence for me and what we built, and they're watching me on stage, and one day God spoke to me and was like, tell them how you really got here. And that's when he gave me the word on release. I said, y'all see my beautiful wife? Y'all see my beautiful children? Y'all have seen my beautiful home? Y'all see all the countries and places I've traveled to, the stages I've been on? I said, I've received a lot, but I've released a lot. And I told them how when I stopped smoking and drinking, bro, I was smoking a pack of Newports a day. When I put it down and came out that watery grave, I ain't touched a cigarette since. Except to pick them up when I'm doing community work.
Wow.
I was smoking 2-3 blunts a day, selling weed by the pound. I ain't touched it since. I would wake up to a fifth of Henny.
Wow.
I ain't had a sip of alcohol. No got a glass of wine enough. Folks be like, but God drink wine. I'm like, that's cool. I ain't tripping on what nobody did. Obviously, I
still partake.
Right. I was like, you know what I'm saying? For me, I couldn't be trusted.
No, you couldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because some people, I don't know my biological father, right? So it could have been an addiction there that he wrestled with. So I knew for me, God said, I don't want you to touch it.
So good.
And so I had to release all of that stuff.
Right.
Then I began to receive.
Right.
But next level, it's levels to it.
Yeah.
So now I got a great job. Wife working for the government.
Yeah.
I'm working for a school called Wild Tech. We making great money, 6 figures. We taking 2 vacations a year. We giving 10 plus 10 to the local church. I was like 10 plus 5, what most people give. I'm like, I'm gonna give you 10% tithe and 10% offering. I should be deader in the grave. You done restored my life and blessed me with a wife, and we built our first home. I'm giving. God said, quit your job.
Quit your job?
I'm talking about release. Everybody's like, Jeremy, you've received so much, but I'm like, but world, I've released so much. So it's not just the negative stuff you gotta release. I released all the negative stuff, but then I got to a season, God is like, man, there ain't no ratchet in your life. You ain't dealing with porn.
Yeah.
Like when I came out that water, I literally one day at a time, people say, bruh, how did you go from this? How did you go from all those struggles to never going back? I took it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Bro, I was slipping to depression and have a panic attack, thinking like, man, I ain't gonna never go to that website. I ain't gonna never have a bottle of Henny. I ain't gonna never smoke a blunt. I ain't gonna never like hit a short, let me bum a short off. Like never. He said, just take one day at a time.
One time.
So I released all of that,
Yeah.
and I received so many blessings. But then God said, there's another level. When you quit your job, I was at the school speaking, man. This little girl, red hair, freckles, came up to me afterwards. She was like, you changed my life. I'm thinking like, my story ain't that good. She's like, nope, I was gonna commit suicide. She was like, I had a plan. I think like her best friend had committed suicide or something. And she was like, I can't live without her. What I'm dealing with at home with my family, I can't do it. She was like, I came to school with a plan, slipped out the back door. They caught me, made me come to this stupid assembly, but I'm so glad I did, Mr. Jeremy, because now I want to live. So she looks at her arm. She's like, now I know that weapons will form, but they won't prosper because I'm more than a conqueror. All my stuff I'm saying. She's like, now I know that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, Mr. Jeremy. I'm like, yo. She's like, always grateful, but never settle. I want to live. Gives me a hug. You know my allergies kicked in, bro.
Yeah.
I was messed up.
Yeah.
I went home and told my wife.
Wow.
Had to get her in the spirit, so I made her breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Little avocado toast, egg white, oatmeal with the craisins. I said, hey, boo. You know what I'm saying? It's time for me to quit my job. I've been kind of speaking at schools here or there, off and on. It's time for me to quit my job. She was like, excuse me? I got nervous. I said, God said do it. She was like, well, what he say about me? I'm like, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I need you to keep working your job. She's like, no. If you quit, I'ma quit, and we're gonna build this together.
Wow.
God said release. But now I look at all of our different companies and everything that we built, and our nonprofits, and with the work we're doing globally. God's like, I could trust you with that because you released. So that release to receive is not just releasing negative things. There are seasons when you know about this. You stepped away from some amazing opportunities.
Absolutely.
You know, and received so much more.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Man, listen.
Story of my life, bro.
So we got the believe. We have the trust. What's that third key?
Then you got to put the work in.
Dude, baby.
Every single day. Every single day. Because here's my problem. Folks, the word says faith without works is dead. So I believe like we going to pray,
Yeah.
like it's all on God.
Yeah.
But we going to work like it's all on us. And so you got to believe, you got to trust, and be like, okay, then you got to be obedient.
Do you think we know how to actually work like that, though? Do you think in general, we know how to get out there and get it done?
I don't. I think some people kind of do, but they've been conditioned by the world we live in today.
Yeah.
You know, you show up at 8 o'clock.
Right.
There's a grace period. I'm like, what that mean? Within my company, bro. I'm like, you average. Fire. I'm just playing. I'll be getting hot. But you show up at 8, you have a break, and then you're off at 4 or 5. It's just like, and whatever you can handle within there, cool. And that's cool. But when you get to the world where it's like, yo, it's ownership, I'm really making my own moves, I'm really calling my own shots. I tell people all the time, like, yo, don't feel a certain way if you see my wife with a big bag. Don't feel a certain way if you see her somewhere in Cabo on an island, because you don't know all them nights when you was watching Love and Hip Hop or whatever you was watching. She was in the bed with her computer up, working, grinding, handling payroll, handling taxes, filling out applications. Like, it's the work, it's the grind, and most people don't know that.
Facts.
I literally got back in town a few days ago from going to that spot I showed you on my phone in Mexico, the little retreat with my wife. And I got back and literally was on calls handling business from like 1 o'clock to like 5, like heavy, intense calls.
Wow.
And then my kids came home, got them situated, was on more calls until almost like 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And my boy Chris always tells me, like, bro, that ain't nothing to be proud of, the grind. But sometimes you gotta do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up in 2 years, bro, and I'm like, I work 2 days a week. I only travel once a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta work to get to that point.
Right.
So I think it's levels to it. And so I think some people know the power of hard work and sacrifice, but I think some people don't really know that there's really truly levels to it.
Yeah.
And you will get out what you put in.
Absolutely. No,
And that's what a lot of people I feel struggle with.